Okay, what's up guys? I don't normally do unboxing videos, but I figured this is kind of a cool new camera, the X-H1. So I'll go ahead and start unboxing it, see what's inside. Okay, you got your manuals, of course. They got some instructions and barcodes on where to get that online, so that's kind of cool. Okay, got the body here. Yeah. And then let's see. There's some other stuff in here. This must be all the power cords and whatnot. Let's see. Well, definitely not boxes designed at Apple. I'll make sure I'm opening this the right way without destroying the crap out of it. Jeez. Okay, so you gotta fight with that a little bit. Let's see. Oh, this must be the grip, so I'll do that after. Okay, grips in there. Let's take a look at what's in here. Oh, this one's a little easier to open. I got all your stuff in here, so yeah. So I don't like these cables. They really irritate me. They're good for if you're sitting at your desk charging, but I don't know. I don't sit at my desk charging a lot, so this looks like the same charger that we've always had with the older generations of the Fuji X-T2 and X-T1. But what I do is I invented this this stub plug, this item right here, that basically plugs into the side of the charger and allows you to plug it right into the wall. You can just keep it in there, and it's very convenient. So anyway, you can buy that on my website, stubplug.com, or you could go to B&H Photo. You can buy them there as well. They're like one of the top sellers or something. But I sell a shitload of these. But anyway, all the stuff. Evidently the strap in here is, so yeah, it's a bigger strap. It's like the thickness of what you would find in like a Nikon Pro body or something, like a D850 or something. That kind, maybe even a little thicker. But it's kind of nice. It's got some rounded edges on there. So it won't cut into your neck and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty subtle. Doesn't have at least it doesn't have that bright Nikon yellow bullcrap that's on the Nikon ones that sort of irritated me. And I have a lot of Nikon stuff too. But anyway, so that's pretty cool. I'm gonna hook that up to my camera soon. Yeah, so I think I read somewhere that, and I didn't even know this. I just bought it, but with the grip you get an extra couple batteries or something, so that's kind of cool. Well, I guess you just, I guess I did it upside down, so whatever. Grip, power cord for charging the batteries, and 2 more batteries. I have no idea how this thing is supposed to come apart. This is a crazy box. I don't know. It looks like I did it right, but oh well, I guess I did it upside down, so whatevs. Yeah, I opened the bottom, and oddly enough, this bottom was easier to open than the top of the other box. So I guess the engineers at Fuji are awesome at making cameras, but they suck at making boxes. Oh well, I'll figure it out later. But I'll go hook this up and I'll connect back a little bit. Okay, so yeah, that's what the box is supposed to look like. So there's really no clue as to which side you're supposed to open, but the smaller tab is the top. Yeah, anyway, it's open and that's the way it's supposed to look. Yeah, you've got 2 extra batteries, which is kind of cool. I've got kind of a lot of these. I've collected them over the past couple years with the X-T2 because I needed the ones with the circles because they have more capacity or whatever. So I got a bunch of those. Yeah, so anyway, let's see if I can focus this a little bit better on here. Let's see, there we go. It's all manual here. Gonna open this camera for the first time, like a true unboxing. Not like the other guys who stick it all back in the package and make like they're unboxing it for the first time. They're lying to us. Just kidding. Alright, boom. Oh, that's a different looking camera. It's bigger. Pretty, kind of what I would expect the GFX to feel like. Let me grab one of these. XT2. Yeah, quite a jump in size as far as the overall the grip. Pretty much everything is just chunkier. There's a pretty good view at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that with the contrast, but yeah, this thing is a beast. I like how they put this little bevel here in the corner. That acts, that kind of irritated me a lot with the XT2s when I was holding the lenses. It would kind of poke into the palm of my hand. I don't know which part of the hand you call that, but I guess this part over here. So so that's kind of neat. When you're holding your lens now like this, it's a little bit more comfortable, I guess. But this is the first time I'm holding one, first time I'm looking at one in person. And yeah, it's pretty nice. This bump in the back is growing every generation. It's getting bigger and bigger. But kind of missed a little the ability to put my soft release on there, because not that it makes that much of a difference, but it's kind of a throwback to the old school cameras, and I kind of missed that. It looks neat, and it's also at an angle now versus on top, so kind of looking more and more like the Sony almost, yeah. But yeah, pretty cool. These dials are still like not my favorite. I don't know. I've used Nikons for years, and they're so much easier to turn, and I just love the Nikon ones. They're rubber, they feel good, they're easy to turn. I just love them. These I don't love that much, but you know. And when your hands start getting dry, like sometimes when you're in the desert and stuff, it's like you can't spin this thing. You gotta like lick your hand or something to make it work. But the AF on button is like a Nikon size now, and I could show you my D4, and it's almost the same size as that. So this is a huge jump from the small little tiny buttons that they have on the XT2s. It's like not even close. So super sweet. The buttons look awesome. Interesting. There's no screen like plastic on the screen when you open it, unless somebody already bought this and returned it, which I doubt, because I got this like on the first shipment. But normally there's some kind of protection on there, and then I peel it off and I put a screen protector right away. I'm a little nervous about it because I'm not sure how well the touch screen will work with the glass screen protectors, which is I have one of those, and then the plastic screen protector I do have also. I have another extra spare XT2 screen protector. Is it's not as smooth as the glass. When you when you do like the gestures and whatnot, it's not going to feel as good. It's a little grippy. So I'll probably try the glass one first, and I'll let you folks know how that works and if that flies or not. Yeah, same old deal on the side. I kind of missed the XT1 sliding door thing, like the Nikons, but whatever. Battery thing, everything looks pretty much like a Fuji, but the grip is, to be honest, is not intuitively comfortable as I thought it would be. It doesn't feel like right away my hand fits right in it and it feels awesome or anything like that. It I don't know. I guess with the bottom grip, maybe it'll come together for me, and I'll try and put that on later and see how that makes a difference. But right out of the gate, I sort of like the XT2 feel better. The XT2 has well, I don't have the grip on there now, but when I do put my grip on, it just has a little bit more of a wraparound feel with my hands, and just feels a little more, I don't know, just part of the way I grip and hold my camera. I guess I'm kind of hold it upright like this and have my finger on top, and I'm holding my lens here. So not super immediately thrilled with ergonomics. Like, it's not blowing me away. Like, this is the most awesome thing I've ever seen, but it does feel heavier. It does feel a little odd in my hand. I think the grip will probably help that a little bit, but it's not, I don't know. It's something about this corner here not really feeling. But, everybody's hands are different. I've got kind of normal sized hands, so it's not like I have, like sausage fingers or anything. They're kind of normal. But I think this is going to be one of those cameras where the grip is almost necessary to make it feel good. But it's just my opinion, so take it with a grain of salt. Do whatever you want, you know what I mean? People are saying that it's like super ergonomic, but I don't know. This bump right here for my hands feel a little low. This bump here feels a little low for me, like my hand's just not. So I think when I put the grip on, I'll probably grab it a little lower down here and it'll probably feel a little bit better. So anyway, I'll report back to you guys about that. Buttons on top feel a little clickier than the XT2. A little bit of a snap, but maybe mine's felt like that before I used it and got it, you know, maybe I worked it out a little bit and it got a little softer. But D10s feel good though. Buttons feel good. Shutter feels, you can't feel like the obvious difference between the focus and the actual shutter actuation. It feels a little vague, but I suppose when you put a battery in and start using it, it's going to be different. Whereas the XT2, I can feel that little bit of a click. There's a little bit of a click, and then there's the shot. So it's like clearly there's two steps here. You can feel the two separate independent steps. 1, 2, and you can't hear that, but you know it's like that little click and then step. This one here feels kind of like a point and shoot. It's just soft. It's just a spongy button all the way through. So I guess you have to, you know, watch for the focus, and then, you know, people are saying that it shoots really easily and it's a lot more sensitive. So I'll have to get used to that, I guess. Just sort of weird. Kind of gonna miss my little exposure dial, because I always grab for it when I'm just kind of in a rush. If I'm doing an event and I need to just do a quick setting, I'll do that. So I guess I have to program it. It's probably in the front dial. I haven't read anything on this manual of this camera, so I have no clue, but I will read it and I will learn it and understand how it works. This dial in the back, it just, you know, because it's a push button, when I turn it, I tend to push it in sometimes a little bit. So still not super stoked about these dials. They got to do something to make these a little better. Whether they make it taller to give it more grip, they knurl it, or they make it rubber like Nikon. Once they do that and make these a little more, and if you notice, Nikon's dials aren't perfectly perpendicular or parallel to the lines of the body. They're actually off at an angle, and it's because of the way it's actually tilted a little bit, because your thumb actually moves in an angle rather than straight across. So those little touches that Nikon looks at and uses in their design kind of makes a difference to me. It's something that you don't take notice of until you stare at one. The older cameras are horizontal, but some of the pro bodies are a little bit off at an angle, and you'll notice it when you play with it or you use it, and it just feels more natural. I tend to like that. I'm a very, you know, strong believer in ergonomics, especially like if you're shooting an hour gig, it's not that big of a deal. But when you're shooting for like 8 hours or something like that, it kind of starts irritating you when things aren't designed, or, you know, you're looking for the way it looks versus the way it works. And I think function should always take precedence. But so super cool. The eyepiece looks way bigger than the XT2. I mean, as far as just like, actually, it's pretty close to the same. It's just that the way the thing is designed, it makes it look larger because of the rubber is deeper, so it gives it the kind of the feel that it's a larger eyepiece. But I think it's pretty close to the XT2. Yeah, same hot shoe. Kind of wish these were silver because they get all scratched up after you use them a lot, but that's not a big deal. Buttons feel good. These buttons are a little soft, but overall, we'll try it out, see how it goes. This is actually a little bit easier to open than the XT2. It's smoother. The XT2 you kind of fight with sometimes, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. I like that. They've done a little bit of improvements there. This little button here too, kind of wish that thing was a little bit grippier or a little bit bigger. This joystick is cool and all, but I've used these for hours and hours, and they kind of get irritating on your thumb too. So if they made this button the size of like these buttons, or the center button, I think you would have animated like, you know, either rubberized or grippy or knurled. They would probably have a little bit more ergonomic feel to it, instead of like a little thing poking into your finger or through your thumb. That I know there's a touch screen, so you may not use it as much now, but still, things that I would do. But I'm not, I'm not a Fuji designer, so whatever. But yeah, I can feel this thing it's got some heft to it. When I picked that up, when I picked the X-T2 up after holding that for a few minutes, this thing feels like nothing. It feels much lighter. So yeah, this definitely is a way, you know, it's kind of the reason why we got into mirrorless, was so we don't have to lug around our Nikon bodies, because they're tanks, and now we're moving these into the realm of Nikon weight. So I don't know, guys, I want to check it out. Quality is always good with Fuji as far as the fit and finish. It looks pretty good. The dials are, I'm not happy with their dials all, you know, so far, but whatever. I think that I think it's going to come down to whether the features really make it for me as far as improvement in photos and all the stabilization and all that stuff. But excited to use it, and I will come back and give you guys an update after I'm done. All right, take care. Okay, so yeah, the grip is bigger too. It's quite a bit bigger. If you look at it, I'll spin it the same way. It's substantial. It's pretty big. I mean, if I was to try and put this in my bag that I had space set up for my old grip to drop in, like how I put it in, like a lens in my bag, my backpack, this wouldn't fit in that space. I'd have to rearrange my bag a little bit to make that work. So so that's pretty interesting. I didn't like the way the old grip sort of hung off the edges of the battery. Like if you look at the way it's like the grip is bigger than the battery. I mean, the grip is bigger than the camera, I'm sorry. It looks like they kind of retrofitted and made the grip wrap around the base. It's just an odd, you know, nothing as cool as the X-T1 fit, because that was a perfect, it looked like an extension of the body, which was really smooth. They kind of lost me on this X-T2 and it looked like an afterthought. But if we look at, let's take a look at the, I'm going to go ahead and pop the bottom off here, and then I'll take this this piece off here, and we'll go ahead and put that on and see what it does. Okay, so let's try and screw that on for the first time here. Okay, so the body lines are better engineered, more like the X-T1 as far as fit and finish. It looks like it was designed at the same time, versus the X-T2 looked like they designed the grip after the X-T2 and as an afterthought, which I thought was kind of weird. But yeah, this thing is pretty beastie now that it's got the grip on. I feel without the batteries, this thing is much heavier, and it's definitely substantial. I wasn't expecting that. I knew it was heavier, but it's not like it's not noticeable. So if the articles online are saying, oh, yeah, this, you can hardly tell, they're full of crap, because this thing is pretty heavy. In the sense of, like, if I'm buying a D850 without a grip, it's probably going to be around the same weight, maybe a little lighter than this combo. But you know, with the grip on, it feels a lot better in my hand. It does have a more ergonomic feel. It's like I need this bottom piece here to sort of keep my hand in the direction I like to hold it, and especially with the way the shutter is angled now, it's got that little cut forward that it didn't have before. It's almost like you'd want to just leave this on, but at the same time, this thing's not going to freaking fit in my bag, because my bag is not tall enough in the back of the backpack to accommodate this type of height. Even my old setup didn't really fit that well, but I could squeeze it in. There is no way this is going to fit in my backpack, my think tank. I don't know which model it is, but it's only got about maybe 4 inches of height where the camera body goes. So I'll have to be taking this thing apart every time I want to put it back in my bag, which is going to probably either irritate me, or I'm going to have to shop for another bag. So yeah, this is interesting. Feels really good either way, though. If you're a pro shooter and you don't mind the extra weight, it's no longer an argument for mirrorless that's why we're going to mirrorless, because of the weight savings. That argument's kind of out the door now. Basically, it's because it's got either better features, or you like the mirrorless because of the things that it does and the way you can preview the images and all that good stuff. But the weight argument is gone. It's no longer part of the deal. I think that that was one of the big selling points for me, because I hate carrying my D4 with my 14 to 24, my 24 to 70, my 70 to 200. This is like, the thing is like 30 pounds of stuff in my bag. So this is now probably going to be 20 pounds of stuff in my bag. So we're getting closer. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video so far. I'm not a professional reviewer. I'm just showing it as I see it. And I've got a lot of Fuji gear, so I thought I'd just show you guys what I think about it. Alright, thanks. Alright, I'm back with my bag, and here are some of the lenses that I have. Apologize for the focus. It's on manual focus now. I'm not a videographer, so I apologize for lack of focus, but I'm trying to do my best here just to show you what I see. This bag is the bag I normally put my camera in, and if I put my X-T2 with the grip on, I can still zipper this shut, even though it's tight. Whereas now, there's like literally, I mean, I could put my camera sideways. That probably helps a little bit of the relieving the way it fits with the base, but this thing sticks way the hell out. And no matter which way I put the camera in, there's literally no way this bag is going to work with that grip on. So I love this bag. This bag is one of the, I don't know what it's called. It's a think tank. I don't know if there's a, I don't know. It doesn't have the brand right on it, but it's one of their kind of recent ones. So yeah, I wish they didn't have this cut on the bag now. I wish the bag went straight across like a regular backpack. Then we'd be in good shape, because I could probably squeeze this thing in, and even then, you know, kind of have a little bit of a tight fit, but make it fit. But now I've got this problem, so I don't have to look for another bag or take off my lens every time and put my camera this way and kind of lose all this space up here. So this is probably what I'll end up doing. Just so you folks know, that's sort of things you don't think about until you buy the camera, open the box, and stick a lens on it and realize that it's pretty beefy. So, well, 56. I would say I'm filming with the 16:1.4 on my X-T1, but I guess a 23 is a pretty commonly used lens. So, so this lens feels really tight on there, so that's good. This thing is a brick. Like seriously, this thing is, it feels good, but it's way bigger than I thought it would feel. Yeah, I don't know. I'm on the fence on this one, guys. I'm not sure whether I'm in love with the way the size increased. I already feel the weight in my hands, and this is what made me tired after working a full day with my D3S and my D4 hanging from my side, sort of exhausting, you know, physically. And I'm a pretty big guy. I mean, I'm over 200 pounds, but I mean, and I'm relatively strong, but this stuff can kind of wear you down. So I think when you get these, you're probably going to want to look at some kind of sling, maybe like a hold fast system or whatever, to keep it on your side and balance. But wow, it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. The thing is like super nice, and but no longer stealthy, and you're not going to slide in and people aren't going to mistake you for somebody with an old Leica camera that's shooting film. They're going to say that's a nice Sony. That's what they're going to say, because it kind of reminds me of the way the Sonys look. But still, it's beautiful. I mean, it's still a beautiful camera. I think it's something that it's kind of like it's going to be kind of like a new shoe, where at first it's kind of irritating maybe, but hopefully it grows on you and it breaks in and it starts feeling like something you can't live without. So we'll see. We'll play it by ear and try it out. But thanks for watching, and you know, if you like the video, subscribe or whatever all those guys say to do that, and comment below, and I'll try and answer your questions. I own pretty much every Fuji lens they make, so if you have any questions about which lens, how it works with this new camera, just go ahead and shoot me a comment, and I'll put it on there, and I'll tell you what I think, because I've got all the zooms, I've got all the primes. I think the only lens I don't have now is the 135 or something, and I think I got the rest. So anyway, take it easy, guys, and happy shooting. Okay, so one quick thing. People are asking about screen protectors and the touch screen and all that stuff. While the dimensions of the screen, the image may be the same, the actual, I don't know if you can tell, but the actual screen protector from the X-T2 will be a little bit, the width is perfect, but the height is going to be approximately, I would say between a 16th and an 1/8 short if you use the XT2 screen protector on the X-H1. This will protect 95% of the screen or maybe 90% of the screen, and you're going to have to either center it in the middle and leave some space on the top and bottom, or you're going to have to wait for an X-H1 screensaver to come out. And I'm a little nervous. I always get nervous because these things rub against my shirts or whatever, my buttons, and I don't want them to get scratched. So sort of afraid to really dig deep into it until I get a protector on it. And I thought this would fit, and it doesn't. So that sucks. I may blow through one of these just to get the majority of the screen covered, but it's going to irritate the crap out of me. So especially with the touch screen, I don't want my hands feeling the edge of that the screen protector. So just so you know, you're going to have to get an X-H1 screen protector. So yet another way that all these accessory guys like Expert Shield and all those other guys can make a buck by coming out with a new screen protector for this new camera. So yep, it is what it is, and we just have to deal with it. Alright, see ya, bye. Okay, how's it, guys? So yeah, this camera, I shot a few shots with it, and I have to say it's pretty snappy. I was pretty impressed. The sound of that little let me try and see if you can see it. That thing is really loud by default. I don't think the other cameras are that loud, but it kind of woke me up. So anyway, that was kind of interesting. We can always tone that down in the menus, I'm sure. But the focusing speed is fast. It seems faster. I don't know if it's just the sound being louder making it sound like a placebo effect, like it's focusing faster, but holy crap, this thing seems to zip along and focus fast. But I still got to get used to the exposure. There's a little button here that you press and you spin the back wheel to adjust exposure, so that's different. And I don't know if I'll keep using it that way or if I'll just go full manual and do it the Nikon style, where I'll control maybe shutter speed from the front and aperture from the back, or vice versa, whatever. So I got still deciding how I want to use that. But the button, the shutter button, is ridiculous. It's super soft, it's super sensitive, almost to a fault. I mean, like it's good. You just have to get used to it. I mean, I'm not even resting my finger on it and it's focusing already. It's literally, it's like almost like a touch button, but it's silent. The shutter is really quiet, which kind of surprised me. It reminds me of my X100F. Like, see, I don't know why it's even focusing. I don't know what I'm doing to make that happen. I'm not touching the screen, I'm not touching the button, and it's doing something. So I don't know if it's voice activated, but it's focusing on its own. So that kind of freaks me out a little bit. I really don't know why it's doing that. I'm moving the camera around, and as you can see, I'm not doing anything, and it's focusing. I don't know. I have no idea what it's doing. I got to read the manual, obviously, because I'm clueless right now as to why it's focusing on its own, and I'm not doing anything. So I'm sure that as far as X-H1 goes, I'm a newbie, and I'm going to be learning a lot. But I know a lot about the older models, so I'm sure I'll ramp up pretty quickly. But yeah, I have a feeling that this is going to grow on me. But this, I don't have the battery in here. I only have the 2 batteries in the bottom, and this thing is, see, it's focusing again. I didn't touch it. Oh, I'm touching this here. I'm grabbing it here. I'm lightly brushing my hand against the bottom, and it's already focusing. So if you hold it like this, and you hold your cameras this way, it's like almost like if you turn your camera this sideways and you move your camera around, it's going to start focusing with your wrist. That's what was happening. Is it's so light that you don't have to hardly touch it to make it focus. So that's kind of, you might have to lock this thing if you're shooting primarily this way, so that doesn't irritate the freaking crap out of you like it is doing to me right now. But that was pretty weird. So anyway, just some stuff to know. The fit and finish is still awesome. I think it's probably one of the better ones, comparable to the XT1. I think the XT1 is overall one of my favorite cameras because it just, everything feels right. They've got the nice grips. See, there it goes again. I'm touching the side here. So the way I hold this camera and the weight of the camera is pushing the shutter into my hands. So I'm not really doing much. I'm just holding it, and it's just, yeah, it's just focusing on its own. So that's pretty weird. I think what might have been a better design now that I see it would have been to recess this button down a little bit, or maybe there's going to be an aftermarket stick-on piece that people will make that'll put a little bump here so that when you're holding it, it sort of protects you from hitting that shutter button. So whatever, it is a new design, so I'm sure that's not going to be perfect, but yeah, I'll start shooting this and see what happens, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. All right, take it easy.